Welcome to the brand new Salt Air. We are so excited about this. We are rebooting and updating this YouTube series. We are excited about expanding your knowledge of salt and welcoming new and old friends into the Salt Open community. We have a fantastic community in Salt Project, and we're very excited to reach you even more through Salt Air. I'm Janae Andrus, Salt Project Community Manager, and I'm here with Tom Hatch, the one and only creator of Salt. Hey, Tom.
How's it going?
Great. Okay, so unfortunately, thanks to the pandemic, we're kicking off Salt Air with Zoom. So we're not together in the same room, whiteboarding stuff or doing whatever we do, which is extra unfortunate because I have a really cool whiteboard now. Ever since we stopped going to the office, I totally stole the whiteboard from the office. Stole. It was allowed.
I may have also stolen a whiteboard from the office.
I know, because I stole it for you, and it was in my garage, so you came and got it.
Yeah.
Socially distanced. I wasn't even there.
And I have the gong.
And the gong. We had a big gong in the office, and Tom got the gong too. I hijacked a few things for Tom. You are welcome.
Yes, thank you.
So we're going to be on Zoom for a while, but soon, hopefully soon, we'll all be in the same room doing Salt Air in that way to give you a phenomenal educational experience of salt. So we're excited. So do us a favor, hit that subscribe button at the bottom. We don't want you to miss any of our new episodes. Plus it makes Tom just feel really special inside when we have more subscribers. Anything we can do to make Tom feel good. Okay, and of course, if you would like more information about the Salt Project or about anything with our community, check us out at saltproject.io. That's actually our new website. It just recently launched. So saltproject.io, check us out. So we're going to keep these episodes pretty tight and pithy, and we're just going to dive right in. So Tom, I want to start at the very beginning. I hear it's a very nice place to start. So tell me about the very beginnings of salt. We're just going to do kind of an origin story episode here.
An origin story.
An origin story.
Yeah, every time I hear origin story, I start thinking of where Batman came from.
I mean, you are a superhero of salt, so it's valid. It's a valid thought.
So salt was actually the fourth iteration of me trying to solve a specific problem. So I've been trying to solve this problem of controlling large numbers of systems for a long time. I'd first built one to do it in college for a research project. I built one for the intelligence community. I built one for a startup, and then I built Salt. And so I thought about the problem a lot. I've used a lot of other tools to try and build these pieces in the past, and I came to the conclusion that I should just make one open source so I don't have to keep rebuilding this thing every time I get a new job. And so this is, early 2011. And I actually started a project. I went back in my Git history recently, and I was poking around, and I started a project called Rosso.
Rosso?
Yeah, Rosso.
Okay.
It's named after one of my favorite movies. I'm going to be made fun of for this. One of my favorite movies called Porco Rosso. If you haven't seen that show,
I haven't.
It's fantastic.
Adding to my list.
Oh, it's so good.
By the way, I like how you just breeze past. You're like going through all these different jobs that you did salt with. And you're like, and the intelligence community, not a spy. It's fine. I'll let you breeze through it. Please continue. Rosso.
Yeah, I've been called out as a spook plenty of times.
I mean, I wasn't going to say, I mean, I did say, but. All right, Rosso, I'm throwing you off. My bad.
Yeah, so I start working on that code base, and then I throw it away and started working on Salt. And so the first commit to Salt was in February of 2011. The first release of Salt was in April of 2011.
April 2011, exciting.
And it didn't work, which was hilarious.
Less exciting.
So I'd only been testing it against one target. And when information got returned from sending a command out to multiple targets, it only showed the return from the first minion. But I fixed that. in the second release 2 weeks later. And then back then the code was small enough. Every 2 weeks, basically, there was a release.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. And then in May of that year, Joseph Hall, he's Tech Hat online, was bothering me. Yeah, Joseph's fantastic, and he still works for VMware. He's still with us at Salt. Joseph Hall sits me down and he says, Tom, you can't stand these other config management tools. I bet you could write a better one. And I said, I'm not going to write a programming language. If I wrote a programming language, I'd have to grow a beard. There's an old rule here that programming languages are only successful if you grow a beard.
That's valid.
Only one super successful programming language was written by a guy without a beard, for the record.
Okay.
And that's C#. But anyway, so that's kind of just the joke that I'm like, I'm not writing a programming language. And then a guy named Lynn walks by. I'm working at Beyond Oblivion at the time, at a startup. And a guy named Lynn walks by and he says, just use YAML. And the light bulb goes on. And so 3 or 4 days later, it was working, right? I mean, just barely working, right?
YAML was the secret, huh?
Yeah, train wreck working. We all know what train wreck working looks like.
Yeah, like you're technically going down the track, but it doesn't look pretty.
Oh yeah, it's wobbling a lot. It's wobbling like one of those.
That really horrible sound is happening where it's like on the track. And yeah.
Have you ever been on one of those really old lines in the London Underground?
I have.
But the whole train is shaking and the lights are flashing and it sounds terrible.
And the best part is everyone acts like it's normal. They're just like, it's fine. And you're like, are we going to die here?
Oh, yeah. I guess I'm okay because all these Londoners think this is normal.
They all think it's cool. And I want to look like we're all inwardly freaking out, but everyone else seems cool. So we all have to act cool, human nature.
They're sitting there going, it's worked since the 1860s.
We are. Okay, so
I got
chaotic London Underground.
Working. Yeah, and then spent the next few months getting config management to the point where it was really stable, right? And we had good operating system coverage for like core operating systems, core Linuxes. And then near the end of 2011, I got laid off. The company I was working for at the time was called Beyond Oblivion, and they fulfilled their name and went Beyond Oblivion.
Okay.
And so they don't exist anymore. And when that happened, I decided to turn it into a company because people had started to use Salt. In November of 2011, I was on a online interview thing. And up to that point, we'd had about 10, 15 people contribute to Salt. This one interview goes out. And by the end of December, we'd had over 100 contributors to the project. And things just started to explode. And then the company I was working for went out of business. And fortunately, I've been saving up money and lived off of my savings. I just burned my savings through 2012.
Classic entrepreneur move.
Oh yeah, very, very reckless.
Been there. Yeah.
And burned my savings through to August when we raised our first money and incorporated. And that's kind of where it came from.
That's awesome. So, and then it just grew from there when you were ready to be fully in, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, like the growth story is probably a different episode, but
oh, absolutely.
Because that's when we're going to talk about business models and how community management works and the many mistakes that I've made along the way. Many mistakes.
Well, I love it, and I can't wait to talk about that in the next one. For now, thank you for going over the origin story, and so we can learn about the beginnings of your superhero saltiness. This was so much fun, and I'm really excited about future Saltair episodes. We'll talk about the growth. We'll talk about all things salt, and we can't wait. So thanks, guys, for joining us. A new episode of Saltair drops next week. Hit the subscribe button. Don't miss it out. Don't miss it out. Don't miss it. That would be a bummer. And maybe you'll hear me mess up more lines in the next episode. It'll be fantastic. So subscribe, give us a thumbs up. What was that, Tom?
I'm sure we'll mess up many lines. I'll interrupt you at the wrong times. It's a lot harder to edit when there's video.
I know we're going to make this really tough. It's going to be awesome. No, I can't wait. And we're going to have so many mistakes. We'll have a whole bloopers episode just within a month. It'll be fantastic. All right. Thanks, guys. Subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We'll see you on the next one.